Hi, I'm Annie Botticelli, and this is the Storyteller Forecast for Aries for December 2018. Go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, see my wealth of free resources, blogs, and some other things on my site, plus other services and products to assist you on your journey, including live readings. I am off of sabbatical and open to taking on new clients now, so you can book at anniehelpsyou.com. So what's going on in the month of December? We've got this beautiful Sagittarius party continuing, and for Aries, that is wonderful because every planet that moves through Sagittarius, it makes beautiful aspects to your Aries planets. We talked about this in November. If you haven't listened to my November report, definitely do that because I go into specifics about the movement of Jupiter into Sagittarius and timing as far as how that can give Aries planets extra blessings. So that's going on still, and the personal planets are starting to move through Sagittarius, and they're making little kisses, giving little kisses to all the Aries placements. So during this period of time, your Aries placements are going to get kissed by these Sag planets, and in the most beautiful aspect of 120 degrees, which is awesome. So I expect things to be lit up wonderfully, busyness, productivity, you feeling like you're on fire. It's definitely not a time for resting. If you're trying to get some holiday rest in, it's kind of unlikely that that's going to happen. You have to slip a little bit in when you can, but it just looks like a super busy, super productive time full of amazing opportunities for Aries. Okay, so in December, we are shedding the cloak of the retrogrades, which has been our norm for most of 2018 now. So with every week we go deeper into December, the personal planet retrogrades are being shed. So we're opening up for new energy, new launches, moving forward. By the end of the month, we're completely clear of the personal planets retrograde. And in January, we're going to have a time where there are no planets retrograde at all, even the outer ones. And that's super rare. And it's setting us up for major momentum. And I know Aries placements like action, and they like momentum, and they like moving forward. I have Aries rising, and I find even just as I'm, walking, like, our bodies, our beings just propel forward, and God help whatever's in the way, right? Because we're just going that way. That's how energy moves through us. So the times of the retrogrades can be a little frustrating, especially for Aries placements, but this is a time now when things are opening up, and that action and that forward movement that we so thrive on can really, really come. So coming into our, very full glory at this point, it's very exciting. So December is going to be full of opportunities for moving forward, and it is also a time at the same time for wrapping up unfinished business to prepare for the more clear stars at the end of December and into January and February. So finishing off old projects, getting things wrapped up. You may finish off some small things, but also big things, and just get them out of your field to be wide open with a clean slate for the new things that want to come in. And new things do want to come in. It's eclipse season again. I can't believe it. January has 2 eclipses. 4 to 6 weeks before the eclipses, we often feel manifestations. So we have to talk about the eclipses in December. Even November, you might start seeing major eclipse news and trajectory changes that are common with eclipses. You might see those as soon as November, but definitely December is prime time for major fruitions, major endings, brilliant new beginnings, and lots of, surprising or powerful or exciting or challenging news. It's, eclipses are a mixed bag. So we're going to talk about the first eclipse in the cycle for this month, and I'm going to show you the charts to show you exactly where it's going to hit for each of your Aries placements. And then in the January report, I'll talk about the second eclipse and where that's going to hit for all the Aries placements. And since I always send these out a month early, by December, when the prime time of the eclipse energies are really starting to get rolling, you'll be equipped to understand both of the eclipses and where they're going to hit for you and what you can expect with that. So because I had such an overwhelming positive response from using the visual aids, the charts, I'm going to take the time to do that now. So I'm going to actually show you the early, middle, and late degree Aries charts and show you exactly where the eclipse is going to hit, plus some other relevant information for Aries for this month. So let's transition into that now. Hello, Aries friends. Okay, I'm so excited to give you the visuals to explain so you can see what I was referring to as far as the upcoming energies for Aries. So let's see. The first place I want to start, okay, is all this Sag energy here. Okay, this you can see is in Scorpio, but it's about to be in Sagittarius. So we got Mercury, which is actually in retrograde, but then it's going direct. The Sun and Jupiter. I went into detail about when you can expect Jupiter kisses for your Aries placement. So definitely look back at my November horoscope for Aries to see about the movement of Jupiter. It's not moving as quickly as these other planets will be. But for December, the Sun is going to be continuing to move through Sagittarius, and then Mercury is going to when it goes direct, join it and move this way. And what that means for Aries is beautiful trine energy, okay? So whenever there's a planet moving through a fire sign, it's making a 120-degree angle between where it is and the Aries placements. So during the whole time of a transit of another planet through a fire sign, so in this case Sagittarius, this is making this beautiful aspect to Aries placement. So every year around this time, when the planets move into Sagittarius, the personal planets, the ones closer to us, the Sun, Mercury, etc., and the new moon and all of that, then you've got this beautiful kissing. I always call it kissing. It's my very expanded artistic talent there. So we've got smooches from the personal planets to your Aries placements this month. And for some of you, it can go further than this. For some of you, it started sooner than now. But that's part of the general energy of this month. And this time of year, every year, is having these beautiful kisses. So look for boosts there for you. If you are in the first 10 days or so of April, and from like 0 through 10 or so degrees, no, I'm sorry, scratch that. If not 0 through 10 degrees, if you're in the first 10 days or so of April and you are between like 10 and 20 degrees, okay, so let's just write this down so we can keep it straight. So around April 1st through 10th, and then 10 through 20 degrees, with a stronger emphasis around April 5th, 6th or so, and around 15 degrees. Okay, so the closer you are to these, and these are within 5 degrees in either direction, that's why they're notable. You've got two things going on this month that will bring extra activity for you. And one of them is the new moon. Now, in general, every Aries can benefit from the positive energy of a new moon in a sign that trines yours. Okay, so around December 7th, look for some extra good vibes and some extra positive boosts. But if you're in this grouping, then it's going to make a trine with your placement. So having a new moon trine your placement can definitely bring some extra goodies for you. So in general, Sag energy with Aries, this is a beautiful, optimistic, expanded time of year because of those angles. So now I want to talk about the first eclipse because, as I talked about before, even though the eclipses aren't happening till January, the first one's January 5th, and people are definitely going to start feeling that earlier. Most people will have some sort of feeling of something brewing, news coming in, or even a major manifestation in the 4 to 6 weeks before the actual eclipse. So that's why I have to talk about it before. But these eclipses are, well, I mean, this eclipse, we're only talking about the Capricorn one, is at 15 degrees of Cap. So we have a lot to talk about with this eclipse. Okay, the first thing we need to know is that those same people, the April 5th and 6th especially, but then all of the first 10 days or so of April, and then from 10 to 20 degrees, the closer to 15 degrees you are, the same ones that were getting the goodies from the new moon, you may have more challenge from this eclipse because the eclipse is going to make a square to your Aries placement, all right? So this doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know, squares are pressure points. And even though I'm using this early chart here, I'm using it as an example to talk about the group that I'm explaining to you about. And I will get to cover all of the rest of you soon. But it's just important that I point this out because it's very, very astrologically relevant. So if you're in that grouping, The square energy, which is a challenge, a pressure point, means this eclipse can bring more pressure to you. But because Aries is on such a strong, like, mountain climbing uptick with their work and career and opportunities out in the world, this eclipse could simply mean a beautiful work opportunity that you're so tired from because you've been working so much. And that could just be the extent of the, negative manifestation. But in general, all Aries, all early, middle, and late, have awesome new opportunities for work. And the work has been a major ongoing long-term theme. Changes in work, changes in direction, opportunities in work, all of that has been a major long-term theme, and that's going to continue. So this Capricorn Cancer eclipse cycle that started in the middle of 2018 and goes through the middle of 2020 is going to feature the energy of home and work for Aries. And that's true for everybody in the zodiac, because Cancer relates to home, mother energies, internal energies, psychology of childhood that relates to current circumstances and our place out in the world. Plus our relationship with our parents, which is, was our primary relationships. So all of that is aspected very strongly with lots of changes ahead for every sign. But because most Aries placements will also have their 4th and 10th houses aspected, that brings even more changes. And since the Capricorn energies and then also the Cancer energies, when they start, can be making these squares to the Aries placements, it shows the likelihood of even more changes that could feel awkward, that could feel challenging. But again, they don't have to be bad. They're just breaking you into this whole new realm that often can be bittersweet, or it can be, and again, this is for all Aries, not just those placements I talked about before. This is like bringing you into new ways of being with home and work, just so busy between now and 2020, just like changes at home, changes at work are just like this constant nonstop story. And these eclipses are really strongly going to be bringing that in your face. So moves, selling of homes, bilocating, being in two places at once, buying a second home, work being so busy that you barely have time for home, but then home is also needing more attention. So major overstimulation in home and work is a pretty much guarantee for most of you. All right, so now let's figure out if you're early, middle, or late and just break this down a little bit. So early degree placements are the March born, okay, or 0 through 9 degrees if you're watching for your rising or moon. Then middle degree placements, you all are like the first 10 days or so of April. And 10 through 19 degrees for your watching for your your rising or moon. And then late degree placements, you are like around the 11th through the rest of the sign. And then 20 to 29 degrees. You're watching for your moon or your rising. So while the early and middle, let's look at this here, are going to have this very strong, what I focused on here. Look at the 15 degrees, right? Let's get this out of here. Hold on. Okay, so for your early degree placements, that 15 degrees is very clearly going to be in your 10th house of work. So the chance for new work opportunities are strong for all of you, but some extra energy there for early. For middle degree placements, you're going to have that happen in your 10th house as well. Okay, so all about work for early and middle. When we get to the late degree, there's going to be a little shift here. Okay, let's see here. Some of you can experience that in the 10th house, but some of you may experience it in the 9th house. Okay, so let's talk about the 10th house manifestations, but then we'll also add some of this energy of the potentials for the 9th house. Even you late degree placements who may have some manifestation in the 9th house, you are also equally as likely as having the 10th house manifestation. So new things involving
your dad, authority figures, just the things we talked about as far as this long potential. It's all about work, your place in the world. For those of you who don't need to work for money or don't have jobs or don't need to have jobs, this can be like a project for you out in the world, stepping out, helping other people, doing things in the world that have nothing to do with making money, just like making your mark on the world. Definitely lots of raises, lots of changes in work, advancements, things like that. A very strong possibility. For those of you in the late degree placement, the ninth house is factored in. And for those of you who have ninth house work, like your work is related to ninth house things, then it can still relate back to your work. So the 10th house, all right, we talked about that. So let's look at the ninth house has to do with everything Saggy. So everybody is having Sag energy brought up from the movement through Sag. But some of you late degree placements, you may also have these new beginnings in the ninth house. So new teaching opportunities, new learning opportunities, new, bringing your work out, publishing, anything having to do with writing, publishing, things like that. Speaking, public speaking, it could be international business, it could be international trips or an international presence, bringing your work out to an international community. Different countries, different languages, different cultures can have to do with spiritual studies, spiritual work, teaching about spiritual work. Can also have to do with things within organized religion. It can be general spirituality, but it can be something in organized religion. So like a position in your church, helping in your church, teaching in your church, something like that. So also can be a solution, like an important solution coming in, seeing things from a different perspective that helps to open things up for you. Okay, so those are the things that are most on my mind for Aries specifically this month. Now I want to talk about the general transits and how they can affect you. I give you some dates to watch out for and some dates that I love. And so we're going to go into all that now. So the theme of December 2018 for all signs is ready to soar. Besides Jupiter getting deeper into Sagittarius, there are other reasons why this is the month that we have been waiting for such a long time. So this is the month that the long retrograde focus is finally ending. Most of the year of 2018, we've had personal planet retrogrades back to back and coinciding with each other. So even though the retrograde influences will still linger for most of the month, you'll definitely feel the cloak of retrograde energies becoming lighter and finally being removed at the end of the month. So Mercury is direct early in the month, December 6th. This change in directions coincides with the Sagittarius new moon, which we'll also talk about. It will take until December 18th for Venus to be done with its post-shadow period. Okay, so after December 18th, the Venus retrograde energy is completely done. But every day leading up to that, it's gone more and more anyway. And then December 25th is when the post-transit Mercury shadow period completely dissipates. And then we're going to be opening up into this brilliant and very rare period in January 2019 where every planet will be moving direct. So this is a really big time. So I've got some dates to note that we're going to go into details about, but in general, this month is about breaking free, being ready to soar, having liftoff, and we will have some things to look out for, and I will go into the details of that. So in general, well, actually, before I go into the details of this month, the dates to watch, remember that you can get a more in-depth and written version of these general transits when you sign up for my free email newsletter at anniehelpsyou.com. Okay, so you get all of the general transit reports a month early, like I do all my horoscopes, via email when you sign up for my free email newsletter. So if you want to be kept up to date for your planning and have a written version, then definitely go there. Okay. So we start out the month. So here I've got our visuals. We're going to look at Venus and Uranus. Okay, so we're just kind of ignoring the rising energy. This isn't
we're not focusing on houses in this reading. We're just focusing on the relationship between the planets because it's a general reading, okay? So Venus rules love and money. And whenever we have Venus opposing Uranus, we're generally in for surprises involving love and money. Sometimes they can be great surprises like a chance romantic encounter or a heating up of your love life in some other way, or awesome money that comes out of nowhere, which also could coincide with having to work more, which could bring overstimulation, or just the surprise factor of money coming in can be, a little overwhelming. But it can also bring financial and love surprises that aren't welcome. So a fight with your beloved, an expense, or some other challenging financial news. Generally, the things that happen with these Venus-Uranus oppositions are quick to blow over. So if there's a fight, usually it will pass quickly. If there's a surprise with money, it usually tends to settle its way out pretty quickly. But do be aware that this transit that actually occurs on November 30th, on December 1st, is when these surprise energies are more common. And whenever I give you exact dates, remember that the transits don't always manifest as far as our experience of them on the exact date that they happen. So days before 12/1 and days after 12/1, you could experience these shocks or surprises. Okay, so that's the first thing to look out for this month. Something in general for the month of December to watch out for or to be aware of is that we've got a ton of Sag energy. This brings upliftment. This Mercury is going to move into Sag, so we've got these 3 planets moving in Sag, making aspects with each other. And I'll talk about some of the dates that are really amazing from these getting together. But the general energy of busyness, of travel, of learning, of teaching, people who are in the teaching businesses or speaking or publishing could be lighting up like the 4th of July for every sign. Anything having to do with international travel plans or long-distance travel plans can be heated up here. Anything with languages, international business, anything like that. So, and in general, optimism, busyness, running around, and kind of possibly exhausting yourself, which now we move into this talk here, okay? So all these Sag energies are going to be here bringing all this busy stuff in. And then at some point, each of these are going to be making squares, 90-degree angles. Challenging, could be stressful, with these Pisces planets. So the way I always see that, and I have a very personal look at this because I have a ton of planets in Sag myself, and I tend to run myself to exhaustion. So a lot of that is going to be a theme of this month, running yourself to exhaustion. And the Pisces planets are going to be calling out for rest. Z's. You want to get more sleep and you want to get more rest. So this extroverted, busy energy is going to be competing with this sleep and rest and kind of a dreamy, artistic flow, emotional energy. So you'll see throughout the month points where those conflict. And if you take the warning to rest, you can save yourself from the overexhaustion and try to find a perfect balance, which ultimately, these 90-degree angles can help you do. So rest is going to be in order, busyness is going to be in order, and that's going to be a big theme of the month. Okay, so let's look at some other aspects here that were going to be important. So Mercury is going direct, as we said, on the 6th, so expect some awkwardness there as Mercury changes direction, and then the shadow period runs until 12/25. On 12/18, we have Venus post-transit shadow period finishing off, so then Venus is clear. Okay, and then On December 6th and 7th, depending on your time zone, we've got the new moon in Sagittarius. That's going to be at 15 degrees. And so new beginnings and time to make your new moon wishes in all of the areas of everything Sag, which we talked about before. Different countries, languages, cultures, teaching, learning, travel, international work, also spiritual or religious projects, writing, publishing, speaking. There's going to be an aspect with Mars and Neptune bringing an extra dreamy energy. See, Mars and Neptune are going to be together at the time of that new moon. And some things that come in may feel like they're too wonderful to be real. Very dreamy energy there. We're also going to have this time, as Mercury is still in Scorpio, trining Chiron. And that's going to be on 12/9, which is an extra sweetness, healing, solutions are more likely to roll in at that time. December 20th, mark a big star in your calendar for the days around December 20th through the 22nd. Okay, we're going to really 12/20, 12/21, 12/22. What happened there? There we go. Because on those days, first we're going to have the Sun trine Uranus. Okay, so it's going to make a 120-degree angle, the most favorable in all astrology. So a boost to anything and everything. This could bring happy surprises. It's more likely to bring happy surprises. Also, Venus is making a beautiful aspect at that time with Neptune. And one of the biggest things is that this Mercury is going to come and make this conjunction with Jupiter, which very often brings enhanced luck, good news, amazing things in the areas of Sagittarius that we mentioned. And so I'm putting this day and this period of time as my favorite launch days of the month. So even though, like I had said, Mercury doesn't regain its full strength till 12/25, the days that are just before that have so much beautiful energy. So if you have to bust something out, these days could be perfect for that. There'll be more time in January and into February if you're not quite ready, but there's an amazing energy about, busting forth at this time. Okay, so on December 22nd, we have a full moon at almost 1 degree of Cancer. And there's a little challenge with Mars and also some sweet aspects working at one with Uranus. But in general, that full moon can bring lots of family awesomeness. There is a chance for a little bit of conflict with the Mars and also a Chiron aspect. But many people will have amazing family fruition, fun, emotional, mostly for the good, but there could be some little tweaks in there. But just typical holiday family awesomeness, very likely around that time. Okay, so then there are some other aspects towards the end of the month, which is, 12/28. We've got another sweet aspect with Venus. See, during this month, Venus is going to come and make a nice aspect to Saturn, and then Venus is going to make a nice aspect to Pluto. So this is going to be really good for sweetness in your relationship. This can be really great for good news involving work and money. So there are lots of great boosts involving Venus, which is perfect because we're clear of the Venus retrograde energies and everybody's pretty much raring to go. Okay, so those are the things that I most wanted to talk about for the general transits. Definitely mark those dates in your calendar for really great energies. So then we will head into January just really with a legitimate feeling of a new year. If you've been listening to my reports for years, you know that I talk about certain Januaries because of certain transits not really feeling like a new year. But this January is really going to feel like a new year. And all of these things in December are leading up to that open energy. So we love that. Something else that is important to note if you are a holiday shopper, that because the energies from Mercury are still strong at the beginning of the month, it actually favors last minute shopping. So the closer you're getting to the holiday times, the more energy, more clear the energy will be. Okay, so just so you have that heads up for holiday shopping, the later part, the couple of weeks before the holiday times, are best for shopping, even compared to November and early December. Okay, so those are the things most on my mind for the general transits. So I hope you loved the added component of the visuals for the charts. If you would like to have my personal insights about your chart, then definitely go to AnnieHelpsYou.com and book a live reading. If you resonate with how I teach astrology and you want to learn more for personal or professional purposes, if you'd like to be an astrologer or include astrology as part of your professional offering, then I am going to be enrolling now, December into January, for the next run of my astrology apprenticeship program. So you can see that at AnnieHelpsYou.com, plus lots of other offerings there. If you'd like written horoscopes by me for your sign each month, go to CozyBySweetStarlight.com. At CozyBySweetStarlight.com, I will write about some things that I mention in the videos, but sometimes I talk about other stuff that I don't cover in the videos. So you get more information about what the month looks like for you, and plus great reads for each sign and lifestyle blogs by me and up-and-coming bloggers that I have on my site. If you're a traveler, then definitely check out my astrology travel reports, my monthly astrology travel reports at AstrologyKissedTravelBliss. At AstrologyKissedTravelBliss.com, you get those monthly travel astrology reports plus other travel blogs and lots of beautiful pictures on all of my sites. So they're definitely something to see. If you're into tarot, you want to learn tarot, you want a tarot reading, then definitely check out my husband's work, B.R. Newman, at IamHelios.com, IamHelios.com. You can check out his amazing offerings there. So I hope you have a wonderful month and a wonderful end to your year, and I'll see you next year. Bye.